Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Megamek with Marlow Stingrays. And today we're going to do the second battle of the Monday, and this is going to be with our command lance. Now we've got this pitch black here. Since we're defending and we have to destroy 50% by turn 10, I want to make sure to get as good as accuracy as I can. So we're going to try to get rid of this pitch black. Daylight, that's perfect. Light urban, I think I can live with light urban. Now they're going to be, let's see here. This isn't too bad. I mean, the Stingers, Phoenix Hawks, those aren't too bad to take out. Crabs, I am not sure. I know what they are in, I know what they are. I know how people mod them in MWO, but I don't really remember exactly how their base stats look. Wolverines I know can be kind of tanky. Griffins, I mean, these are all high-end mediums. I mean, they're practically heavies. These Griffin, Dervish, Wolverine, Vindicators. There's two different variants of it. That's kind of cool. Scorpions, we know what those are. And yet another one of these Phoenix. Oh yeah, there's just a whole mess of things. A lot of it stuff we know. Some of these things are just a little bit new, but okay. Now, since this is the command lance, I would let's go over here to the rules, because I don't remember if I've mentioned this or not, but for sanity's sake, I'm getting rid of one of these rules. Change description. And that's at least one of these modifiers, and that's these modifiers here. Basically, I'm only allowing reinforcements from the same company. I think I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to like tier up, like the battalion, I'm going to get rid of this, but this, I'm going to put this +5 modifier basically, since I have like a bigger list of mechs to pull from. I'm going to put this here, basically different or higher tier. So let's just call it higher tier command lance. Right now it's just battalion. I may put like an additional one for regimental because I'd be actually expanding it even further. But for now this will be fine. Higher tier command lance +5. So now we need to go into actually what the modifiers are. And I don't think I've really gone over this much. We're on defense. This -5 actually cancels out this other +5. But we're in perfect daylight, so this isn't going to happen. We're in light urban, so we get an additional -1. And I don't believe there is any weather. No weather. So what we got is basically a -1 to all the TNs. So let's see. I do want help. I don't necessarily want everything. And obviously, when it comes to like the cavalry, or well, the vehicle and the mech lances, I can only have one reinforcement. The squadron, I'll be able to get one flight out of that, and then as much infantry as I really want to bring, but I'll have to roll for each one. Let's go ahead and roll for the strike squadron. So -1, I need 12. So let's go ahead and grab the dice. Be kind of nice to get something going here. Okay, they will not be able to reinforce, which is unfortunate. I do kind of want something a little bit heavy. Maybe Malek's. Let's see if she can help us out. I would need a 15. Nope. This is a little bit too heavy from where I really want. I could try to bring the A-team in again. Odds aren't very good for either one of these. Let's go ahead and roll to see if we're potential. I need a 19 for you and a 18 for the A-team. So, okay, so neither one of those are potentials. I'm going to hold... No, let's try for this mechanized. I wouldn't mind taking some mechanized. Man, I ain't even getting these guys. Alright, let's go into the Manta Company here. I don't really want to take the Proving Lance. Nikita Fire Lance, that might not be too bad. 18 to get it. Nope. Mother's Heavy Recon. Wow, 11's to get her. And I still didn't get it. I'll put this medium battle tank deal. too bad. Nope. Field artillery. I need a 13. Can I get one of these? Oh yes, my field artillery. Deploy there. Do I want any of these other things? Let's go ahead and try to get this mechanized fire here. I need a 14. Or actually I need a 13. Didn't get it. Well, I am wanting a little bit more than just the base here. You're kind of... Actually, the only one I can really try to bring is you guys. So I need 18s to bring you guys. Oh, well, we just didn't get any reinforcements that I really want to bring. So I'm going to try to take this mechanized here. 13. Okay, I got you. And I'll try this motorized laser. No. Alright, a couple of these mechanized. I guess that's what we're going to roll with. So even with the defensive modifier, it's not easy. I mean, it isn't no guarantee. Even with all these extra rolls I do, it's reinforcements are actually a lot more rare than they used to be, I think. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now I think we get control regardless. Unless they destroy 50% of us. Okay, that's important to know. Seems kind of loud. Let's bring it down a tad. And can we have opposition, please? Please? Let's try that again. Before we get into the battle here, I messed up my timing, so instead of putting up a 50-minute video here, we're going to do something just a little bit extra here. What I want to do is actually go over some changes that I want to do actually the options here. I've been able, since I now have TAC Ops, I've been reading through some of the rules, and for now I'm only going to change some of the ground movement rules. At least some of these little tick boxes here for the Megamek, and bear in mind that any changes I make for this isn't going to apply to this upcoming battle, because I'm recording this after that battle has already taken place. So let's go ahead and dive. Well, before I dive into this, I do want to actually mention two other things that I actually want your guys' input on. Well, one of them isn't so much I want your input on, it's just, you know, by all means feel free to discuss it, but the rule that recon, when you're in the recon stance, basically like slower units arrive later. I think I previously mentioned I'm going to brush that, and I still am, but I am going to change it slightly. The recon rules, if the formation that someone is in the strike, pursuit, or recon stance, I brush it. If not, I keep it. So that's just the only time I don't know. It seems silly to write such a small thing up on our Steam page, but I need to make a note of it somewhere, I guess. So I'll figure out that later. But I just wanted to mention that. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was I am not contracts the searches, which one of the things I am doing different is going to be the jump ship, drop ship rules. I want to use the campaign operations rules for finding a dropship. We'll still like do our payment to do the search, and then I'll use those rules to, you know, see if we find what we're after, and we'll only do that like once, you know, one chance between contracts. And I think even with those rules I still have to pay for the dropship, so we need a lot of capital to do that regardless. I don't know. I do not know. What was I looking for? I'm looking for the Megamek options. Let's get into this, because this is the main thing I wanted to get into anyway, and I don't want to make this a super long episode. So let's go up here to the advanced contract, and I'm just going to briefly talk about what the option does that I'm adding onto, and why I'm using it or why I'm not using it. And my basic rule is I don't want to use stuff that unduly punishes the AI. Basically, the AI doesn't know how to use these rules, so a At least I don't think they'll ever use them. So I don't want to do something that would actually penalize them because they aren't even aware of the rule. Let's go ahead and just start from the top here. Sprinting, I'm going ahead adding this. And what the sprinting does is normally your running speed is 1.5 times your walk speed. Sprinting makes I can move twice my movement speed, but I can't attack. I just have to choose to do it. So that's what sprinting does. Standing still is one I'm not going to do. You stand still a lot just to keep your target numbers down, and I don't want. And what the standing still does is, like, if you don't do any kind of movement at all, you get basically people get a bonus to hit you. Which honestly, they are already getting a bonus to hit you because you didn't move. This just seems like unduly punishing, and you don't see it in the game, but it's assumed that your mech is still kind of moving and a little bit inside of its square. It's just kind of keeping its forward face or whatever facing it is. So this is one where the AI doesn't know how to use it, and I don't like it anyway. So evading I am going to do, and what evading does is basically I can use my full movement MP, and I move less, I believe. Let me get my book out real quick. Find it quick. Well, when it's evading, basically you can move as much as you're running. So I guess what reason that actually brings that out, I can't sprint and do this, which you couldn't do anyway. So, what evading does is it's kind of like sprinting, except I guess I'm not moving as far, but I can't attack anybody while he's doing this evading, and it basically just makes it harder to hit me while I'm trying to get somewhere. I kind of like the idea of that. And then skilled evading is basically the better pilot you are, the better you are at evading. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on as well. It technically just buffs us, but it doesn't really penalize the AI. So leaping, go ahead and adding that because the AI will never do it, and we will try to. At least I don't think they'll do it. They might start if the AI actually starts doing the leaping and not knowing what it's doing and damaging itself, because that's what it is. Basically, I can leap off of a greater than 2 height difference, and it has a chance of actually damaging my legs, which is why it's a little bit of a trade-off to do it. Is why I'm willing to put up with it. But if the AI does start doing this, not knowing what it's doing, I might just turn that off. It kind of goes the same with a lot of these, although I can't imagine it's going to turn on evading or sprinting. Defense, physical, PSR, weight modifier. Basically, light mechs have a harder time dealing with kinetic impacts, whereas assaults have an easier time. It kind of makes sense from as much as 16-meter tall robots make sense, but it makes sense from just a physics perspective, where if you weigh 20 tons, you're in a wasp. A blast from like an AC-20 is going to affect you a lot more than it will like a 100-ton Atlas. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And on the other side of this is, if you're lighter, you're actually technically a little bit more agile. And so physical attacks, it's easier if you're a light or a medium. So go ahead and add that in. So basically, our light, they do less damage anyway, but they have an easier time to hit you, is what I'm seeing there. So the difference here is, like your 20 plus, your PSR, if you are a light, you get a +1 base to hit, and then assaults actually get a -2 for their ability to actually stay standing, their target numbers. So in a way, that this does it's something the AI doesn't know to use, but then again, it doesn't need to know to use it. It's just it's part of the 2-hit numbers. Attack ops taking damage. Which is this? Oh yes. If you do more than the 20 points of damage, I like this, where it's cumulative. If you take 40 points of damage, it's even harder to keep standing. I really like that rule. Leg damage rule we're not using, just because I don't like it. Hip criticals should be what they are. They should be punishing, and it's kind of a balance thing anyway, where if your hip supersedes any other damage within that leg. So we're going to leave the hip rules as it is. Backwards movement, I like this. Basically, you could, and you've seen me struggle with this a little bit in game, where I'll be trying to back up and go, and it just doesn't make sense. Well, I can't just go up this slight hill or whatever, or go down this slight hill. You can now, but you do have a chance because you're backing up. You can't really see where you're going. You have to make a pilot skill check, and if you fail, you fall. I like that. Fast infantry movement. This is kind of basically the same thing as sprinting up here. You get 1 extra movement point, and you can't fire. I like that. Lance movement rules. We use individual initiative anyway, so this doesn't make a whole lot of sense in that context. Hull down rules. This is one I was kind of going back and forth on. I kind of want to add them, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, it's very complicated. And then you of course got your falling here, where you might take a knee, and this is one where I wasn't sure what the AI would do. Where if what this rule did is, if hull down is basically is as a mech, I can basically take a knee and lower my height to where I can take cover behind stuff a little bit easier, but still shoot out. And then what the falling here is that you can make a PSR or a secondary PSR. I don't remember exactly how it is, but you make a secondary PSR, and if you succeed, instead of falling down because of damage or whatever, you take this knee instead. And I don't know that the AI knows how to deal with hull down. And then the vehicle hull down rules are complicated because they're already at 1, and you start dealing with like half hexes, which I don't even know is in the game. So attempting to stand is another rule I'm currently not turning on, because again, I don't know if the AI would understand it. But then again, I don't know if the AI needs to understand it. It's one of those things where what it does is, if your arms are damaged or missing, you take penalties to your stand-up roll. And I don't know that the AI's logic will understand that it's getting this additional penalty, and it might like start trying to do impossible stand-up. So that's why I'm not adding that in. Careful stand I am adding. Basically, you can expend all of my movement points to try to just stand up at a -2 to the mod. I like that idea. You know, you're taking your time and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Zip lines I'm adding in just because I know this rule exists, so I'm going to think it's on. But it's what it does is basically infantry that's deployed inside of a helicopter, they can use zip lines to get out. You know, so that way the helicopter doesn't have to land. I think that's kind of cool. You know, when we'll ever actually do that, I don't know. Right now, we only have the combat SAR that even has the helicopter assigned to a squad. So. And a lot of this other stuff is unofficial rules, which Mech lance, that's just basically the vehicle lance. I don't like that. Vehicles not immobilized by crits. It's one of my pet peeves about vehicles is how easy they can be destroyed, but that is part of being a vehicle. They're not as good as mechs. So. Eject pilots flee. Basically, they don't appear on the board. I like being able to capture them. I also kind of like the extra danger if I have to eject. You know, so vehicles can be abandoned. I don't even know if that would put like people on the board or not. Auto abandoned unit. Somebody was spying on me. Yes, I sometimes keep my pilots in a destroyed mech to keep them safe. This will automatically eject them. Nah, we don't need that. No charge attacks your vehicle for hover vehicles. I'm kind of thinking that used to be a rule, and it's no longer a rule. So I'm wondering if that's why this is an unofficial rule. Do not damage mechs by vibro bomb fast move. Vibro bombs are probably not something we're ever going to deal with. Well. Except maybe as friendly fire eventually, but for right now, we're not even going to worry about that. Falling in's movement, I was very tempted to add that in, because you know you'll see the AI like he'll try to stand up, fail, try to stand up, fail, and then he'll stand up and move. Well, I guess bully for him. It does seem to make sense where you know you just totally flubbed your stand up, but we're not going to do it. None of these official rules are going to do. Jumping into heavy woods. You have to do a roll to actually jump into heavy woods. This makes sense because you'd be smacking into trees. But Then no movement penalties for night and fog. It would save me a lot of headaches. But this is one I have been very tempted to check, and I've known about this for a little while. But we're going to deal with the night and fog. So I'm going to push an OK on that, and those are the rules, and I've got them actually the rules actually posted up on our Steam page here. So let's go ahead and I guess put a pause in this video now, and then when we pick it back up, you will be in the battle. I forget where it was. I know I was having trouble starting this battle because I was actually using my CPU to render a video. So I do get that sorted out, and we will start the battle here well, next time. Till then, crash and burn.